Welcome to Great Things Tampa Bay, the podcast about great eats, great places, and great people in the greater Tampa Bay area. I'm your host, Kyle Sasser, a Tampa Bay native and realtor. This is episode 19, Markets for Makers. This is the Great Places feed of the Great Things Tampa Bay podcast, where you will only hear episodes related to parks, stores, events, shows, and things to do about town. In our main podcast, which you'll find under Great Things Tampa Bay, in addition to these chats about entertainment and events, we also cover great eateries and delicious grub, as well as interview some of the great people, movers, and shakers in the area. You can find our main feed at greatthingstb.com. That's GreatThingsTB.com. Or you can subscribe to us on iTunes or Google Play just by doing a search for Great Things Tampa Bay. Thank you and enjoy. This is Kyle Sasser with Great Things Tampa Bay, and I'm here with
Trista Tripp and Natalie
of
Markets for Makers.
There we go. So I found y'all on social media, and y'all are doing some pretty cool and great things in the area. I even overheard, and I'm sorry, but I got ears. But y'all are looking to expand all the way out to like Lake Wales. Was that true?
Yeah, well, we're doing a little tiny market out there. We've been working with other festivals, so it's been fun whenever we get to put a little, even if it's a tiny amount of local.
Yeah.
We always jump at the opportunity.
Yep. So if you're anywhere in Tampa Bay, all the way out there, and including Tampa and St. Petersburg, you'll definitely want to listen to this because it'll be some good stuff. So tell us a little bit about what y'all do.
Yeah, so we run markets. So we run a lot of local markets in the Tampa Bay area, and we're kind of focusing more as we move and get bigger on bigger markets less often. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of handmade, and we have all kinds of items you can find in the markets. A lot of them are a lot of mom and pop shops and food trucks, etc.
So this definitely isn't like the crap fair, as my wife calls it.
Oh, yeah, no. And it's not a farmer's market. That's where a lot of people get that wrong.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, like a lot of markets you go to, like you go and everything is, like basically sourced from China.
We do a lot of boutiques because we feel like those have been hand curated, and so it's fun because we get to pick out booths that are not just handmade, but they put something together. Or they took something and then they upcycled it, or making something better. Oh yeah, for sure.
And we really curate our markets.
Yeah. Sometimes people don't necessarily hand make it themselves, but they'll design a T-shirt and then they get it printed.
So you'll do actually vet the people that you have at your markets. You're not just taking all comers.
Oh, it's funny. I mean, out of our first 2 years, we had about 1,200 applications. Ooh. And I think we rotated about 400 to 500 out of that 1,200.
That's impressive, actually.
We are very picky, but we look at a lot of aspects to each person in each booth, and that has been part of the success of our company.
No scrubs at the Markets for Makers.
No, we try really hard, and
How did y'all get started with this?
I had a handmade jewelry company a while back, and I was attending a lot of markets in St. Pete and Tampa, and there weren't any in Clearwater. And so I kind of had this idea of let me just put something together of 40 booths, and that way I don't have to drive so far. And so I put something together, and it was October of 2015, and I had the first market. We hit 60 vendors, and I found this perfect spot in downtown Clearwater, and the city was amazing in getting us started, and it exploded. I mean, it went amazing. So many people turned out because my background's marketing. Basically, I had 60 booths, and then by November, we had another huge turnout. By December, I went in front of the Downtown Development Board and asked for funding. Yeah. So they gave us $15,000 right off the bat to get us going, and we put all of it into marketing.
Very nice.
I know. It was awesome. So we got huge.
Was there a name for that market? Would people know it?
Street Market.
Okay.
So it was on the waterfront in downtown Clearwater. Mm-hmm. Basically, we got so big after 2 years that the city put the whole market out for a public bid because it was of a certain size. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I brought Trista on. She came in to kind of, first of all, had to figure out, okay, how are we going to win the bid or not win the bid? And if we don't, what are we going to do? And Trista's background was in
So
consulting. Go ahead.
yeah, so I basically had a background in consulting for businesses, and I was doing that in Hawaii at the beginning of this year, which was really fun and really nice. But
She had a really nice tan.
had a great tan. I really liked it. But Natalie came up to me, and basically the timing was just perfect. And I was done with the job. I was working in Hawaii, and she needed help, and I loved the whole idea of it. Because this again is like helping small businesses and it's helping bring the community together. And that's something that I was just very passionate about.
Yeah.
So I came in, I also have a background in fashion as well, which I know is kind of interesting, but because of that, a background in PR and helping with that aspect of things. So coming on here, I could bring what I knew about all of that previous stuff into this.
Yeah.
And
She's from LA, so she brings a whole big city vibe to our company. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Indiana, so I'm like, what do I wear? What do I wear for this TV shoot or photo shoots? And
you're the
Oh, she knows it inside and out. I mean, my style has gotten 10 times better. The girl boss vibe is like on point.
There you go. There
on
you go.
fleek, as I like to say.
Yeah, on
Very
fleek.
nice.
It's amazing. And so she and I together were able to transition the company over to basically doing a lot of night markets. We got that started before we found out about what direction the company was going to go in. And we've just been hustling like crazy.
Yeah, so you started with the one in Clearwater. And what markets are you running currently?
What happened with the public bid was that 2 other companies bid, and unfortunately we didn't win the bid, which for us was incredible because it pushed us forward as a company.
Yeah.
So what it did was we weren't even really thinking with night markets. So when we found out that the company could be moving and transitioning into something else, we started the night markets. And so that's at Ferg's, and the last one's in December.
And that's Ferg's in Tampa, right?
Yeah, downtown across from the Amelie, which they're going to be moving because of the whole Water Street project. It's going to be interesting, but everything has exploded for us. I mean, we have to be careful with how much we promote now because of how many people come out.
Yeah.
Our fire marshal doesn't like too many occupancy in a small area.
Exactly. But it's been so successful to the point where we just don't have to barely market at all. We still put a lot into it because it's important to us, but the fact that we don't have to is kind of cool.
Yeah, we've gotten this reputation, and that's been amazing. And so when we found out about Pier Street, we kind of were like, okay, what do we want to do as a company? Do we want to just do night markets? Do we want to try to find a new location for Pier Street? I actually was vetting a lot of options for Pier Street to see if we wanted to move it.
Yeah.
But the truth is we've never been about trying to compete with any other markets. I want there to be more markets. I want all of my vendors to do amazing. I don't ever want to be the reason why someone doesn't do well. Like I took all the vendors. Or, do you get what I'm saying? Like it's just not what we're about.
High tide lifts all boats.
Exactly. That's what we want.
And we never want to be the reason why someone doesn't do well. So the plan is to figure out what we wanted to do. And we found a couple of markets that grabbed our attention. Like the Renegade Craft Fair is huge all around the U.S.
Okay.
And Unique LA.
I'm not familiar. Tell me.
Yeah, in there's a West Coast Craft. It's these large-scale indoor markets where the booths are more expensive or they charge a door fee, and they are less often but bigger.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
Highly curated.
And what's great is that they're not as often, so that you can get better vendors. You can do a lot with those. So we basically decided as a company, instead of trying to get so much quantity, let's work on quality.
Yeah.
And because we wanted to hire more people, and when we looked at having, lots of staff and lots of salaries, we want to pay people well,
Yeah.
Our staff, we want to make sure that they're not just minimum wage working for us.
Yeah.
They're supporting themselves, This is something that they get to do that they love, but also be able to support their families. So we looked at it, and this was the future for us. So Trista was incredible and found this warehouse in Ybor, which we're sitting in Ybor right now because we have a huge holiday market this weekend.
Yep. And y'all been wondering about all the noise in the background. We're actually at the bunker down in
bunker,
down here at Ybor City. Lovely coffee shop.
That's great.
If we're not in Clearwater in our office, we're in some coffee shop in Tampa. we have a list of our favorites all over the area.
This one's pretty good.
Yeah,
I love the
And you all said that y'all like the hall in Franklin. I just did an episode on that.
Yeah.
The episode.
Oh, really? That's
wonderful.
cool.
And then you've got the foundation coffee.
Yep, that's
And
We
we
have
love
a great, what was the thing that we always get there?
foundation.
A coffee that we get. It's not coffee, it's a tea. It's what's this right here?
chai tea.
They have really good chai tea latte.
They got magical tea.
Yeah, exactly. So we now have the holiday market happening this weekend. So we're going to have about 100 vendors for 2 days.
Okay.
And then we're bringing in now full beer and wine, which, goes 100% to a nonprofit.
Okay.
And then, we're working on that one with education. It'll go towards entrepreneurs college. So that's going to be exciting. It's our future. I mean, after December, we might do some night markets, but the hope will be is that we have a night market on Friday nights and then we find a great location for Saturday and Sunday. So we'll just ride out the weekend.
Yeah.
We have a holiday market that we're going to probably be doing annually. And then anyone that wants to check us out, they'll check out our website, which is marketsformakers.com. And we're probably going to have quarterly a large market in the Tampa Bay area. We found this amazing warehouse in Ybor. So the longer we can have it, we might do something every other month.
Nice.
At this point to try to, because we've painted the whole place. I mean, it has been quite a project. It's amazing.
Put the heart into it.
Oh my gosh. And we're so happy because it looks so amazing now. And so we have that one, and then we have an LA market.
We do.
Exciting.
Yeah,
we're
we're on
starting up
both
there.
coasts. I just said both coasts, by the way. I meant to say both coasts.
That's the tongue
I
twister.
thought that was like the cool new term.
Oh yeah, or
I'm just creating new terms as I go.
There you go.
no, but we're trying to expand into major cities, so that way we can have our own footprint in every city.
Yeah.
For longtime listeners of the podcast, you might remember Alessandro and the AOK family. They've also been out in LA and New York and stuff like that. So
really? They have?
maybe I'm gonna try to hook y'all up and y'all can collaborate
love
and
it.
I would love that.
get something done. There's some good guys over there.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun. So that's our future is going to be hopefully all over the U.S. and lots of big markets less often. And
I love it. What do you feel was your most successful failure?
I think this will be our greatest learning experience and probably the thing that we'll look back on as being so happy for it having happened.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock because from me, you create something, you put your heart and soul into it for a few years. And I was, to hear that it was going to be changing than what I had expected before.
Yeah.
And I think that at some point, though, I looked at it, I was like, you know what? I'm a little bit outgrowing this.
Yeah.
At the moment, it didn't necessarily, it was a bit of a, oh my gosh, what happened? And then afterward, I looked at it and I went, okay, this is a great opportunity for someone else to hopefully grow their business. And then this allows me to take that next step forward.
Yeah.
But as far as small little failures, I mean, we fight generators every night market.
God, yeah.
And that's always fun.
Oh, yeah. When the lights are going on, off, on, off. You're like, why won't it stay?
I know our favorite amazing failure.
What?
I talked Trista into getting a trailer.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, okay, we're going to get this trailer. We're going to pull it up to all of our markets.
And I was really not into it, by the way.
Yeah.
I was like, convince me, Natalie,
Okay.
convince me.
You're like,
It was like a $5,000 trailer. And I'm like, okay, it's so cute. It's vintage. We're going to get it made. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have all of our outside markets. It's going to be great. This is before we decided to do the less often markets.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, we have to go. And we only had a couple days to get there. So we're driving up to Chattanooga where this trailer is being built.
Yeah, that's a good drive.
And there's a hurricane coming because there's that hurricane
Outrun a hurricane.
that hit Alabama.
Yeah.
It was like the fourth hurricane that came through. So we're trying to outrun all of this hurricane and the wind. We drive up to to Chattanooga. We drive up to Chattanooga and we're driving 95 miles an hour to get there. It still took another 4 hours. I feel like
Every time we stopped to get gas, it added an hour.
it did. Every time we stopped for 10 minutes, it was like, okay, another 45 minutes to get there. We're like, So we go to pick this thing up and we buy all these tarps and we wrap it up. And there's this
It
huge,
looks like a narwhal.
I know. There's this huge pole sticking out the back, and we had to wrap the whole thing. We're exhausted, and we're driving. We were
You look
ready
like
to be.
complete white trash with
I-
this massive
Well, I had my
narwhal.
slippers on, and I had my it just looked terrible.
Yeah.
So we drive up there, we wrap this whole thing, and then the brake lights keep going out. We're driving it back. And
So slow.
it took twice as long to get home. We're at the Florida-Georgia line, and it's 2 a.m.
We're trying to outrun the hurricane coming
And
Yeah.
it's the
at
weekend.
20 miles an hour.
Yeah, all the kids are graduating, so every single hotel is totally booked up. And so it was just it was a nightmare, and it was something where it's still sitting in a warehouse of one of.
I haven't done a thing with it.
Shout out for Rock and Rhino, which is an amazing company because
Yes.
they do collectibles, because they have been housing this trailer for a month, and we're gonna have to drive the whole trailer back up because we have to put the skins on and we have to paint it, and then we'll probably just sell it because at this point we're not going to be doing as many outdoor markets.
Like we thought we were going to do. So it was a little bit of a waste.
Yeah, the one truth about, being an entrepreneur and owning your own business is you never end up where you think you're going to be.
And the horrible thing was the tarp kept ripping. So it was like, we duct taped the
Oh my God. There was so much duct tape on this thing. Like we looked like crazy people.
And we duct taped. I have to send you a picture because we duct taped everything. And then it was just like, we were fighting over the fact, like, oh no, you need more here. And these wires
like
kept
10 rolls of duct tape, by the way, if you can get an idea of how much duct tape we use.
So yeah, if you send that to me, I'll put that up in the show notes. I'm sure.
I will send you the picture of it looked like a little smiley face on the back. It's one day it'll be beautiful, but we have to drive this whole thing back up to Chattanooga, and I'm like, we're just staying there for a few days and enjoying that beautiful area.
Yeah. There's lots of good stuff up there.
Yeah, so that was probably the one time in which we came home after 25 hours of driving.
Wanted to kill each other.
You're just like, that probably was not the best,
we
best
just
use.
we needed to take a moment after. There were certain points where I'm like, let's just put a book on tape on for a long time and podcasts. And
There you go.
it's a really cute vintage trailer. If we could figure out what to do with it, we would keep it. But I think we're going to probably fix it up. And
Well, if anybody's in the market for some interesting trailer and they like the
really
looks
cute.
of it.
It looks like an old Shasta. So cute.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Our year plan this year would be to do at least 5 or 6 markets.
Okay.
Major market.
That's 2018.
Yes.
Right.
It's 2018, and we want to be able to do at least 2 or 3 holiday markets, 3 different cities in December. And then we're probably the next year. I mean, it's a matter of how many can be done without going down in quality.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we are always slowly adding people to our team, and it's a lot to bring in a new market. It's like starting a whole new company because you have to go vet a lot of new vendors.
Oh, yeah.
But as we get bigger and bigger, we hope that our reputation gets better and better as it has been. I mean, we've exploded this past year and a half.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
No, 2 years we've been in business, and we have now 50,000 plus followers. I mean,
I'm still working on figuring out that section
we
of
love
space.
social media.
yeah, it's a lot of
Definitely our
constant
forte.
posting all the time.
Yep. So my forte is tenacity and follow up, as you all probably know, because I sent y'all quite a few
That is
follow up
what we
emails.
appreciate
Do
that.
it.
We
You
really
need it.
appreciate
When you're juggling, I don't know, I probably answer 100 to 150 emails a day.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one rule in sales is most sales, and I consider the sales because I still
Yeah,
do
it
all
is.
interviewing.
Yeah.
But most sales happen on the ninth
9th or 10th.
or more
I read
contact.
As entrepreneurs, as business owners, like we appreciate that. There's so much going on all the time, and it's
Yeah.
so nonstop that
It's
the
hard.
person that keeps persisting and keep going for it, those
That's
are
how we
people
are
that were
too.
like,
Yep.
yeah, we need to do this.
Or have the software to remind you, which is my case.
I love
it.
I like that even more.
Is there one problem that you wish that you could solve right now?
More hours in a day.
Oh my
There
gosh,
you go.
that's it's so funny.
If we could figure
Yeah.
out how to get more hours in a day, we're doing so many things that it's like, okay, I'm only one
Well,
person.
the thing, I don't know if you ever find this with emails, but you come to your email box, you're like, oh, great. Okay, great. I have 75 emails I need to get to today.
Yeah.
You answer them all, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I still have 75 emails because everybody answers you back.
Yeah.
That's why I love answering at night, and I love answering on airplanes.
Personally, I keep a 0 mailbox policy.
Me too.
So I look at it 2 or 3 times a day. So like my real estate clients will tell you, like I tell them, I'm like, you send me an email, I'll get to it, but it's not going to be immediate. I just zero it out every day. I don't usually read stuff. I just delete it if it's not pertinent. Just ruthlessly, just beep, beep, beep.
I'm a believer in unsubscribe. Like anytime I get something I'm on a list, I'm quickly like unsubscribe.
But please don't unsubscribe to the Great Things Tampa Bay newsletter,
way.
please.
No.
No. That's when I
pertinent.
haven't
Yes.
when I haven't signed up for it, and somehow they've signed me up for some random
Yeah.
investment something.
Yeah.
And it happens more often than I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some random person in Kentucky trying to sell me houses or something. You know,
It's true.
like,
It's true. And I know, like me personally, like, because I have a list that I've built over the years.
oh yeah.
And like whenever I start up something new, I use the list for that. So I apologize, but sorry,
No.
sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
I love that. Sorry, not sorry.
Any memorable booths you've had to reject or cancel?
There's a lot of booths that aren't an amazing fit for our company, but I don't know, like there's some that are terrible that we don't really know what they did. They're like upcycling something and they have no idea what they're doing.
Like a hot gluing shells on the things or
Yeah,
something?
oh, that's a
Walls.
big one. That's a really big one, is like hot gluing shells onto random items, which sometimes have no purpose. But what I say is that there's a lot of markets out there, and sometimes they're just not a good fit. I know our target market, and I know the right fit for our target market is women between 20 and 40. And so I happen to be one of those women.
Yep.
And so I put items in the market that I would personally buy. I mean, sometimes I put items that I would maybe buy for my parents too, but I don't really have any grandparents around, so I don't really know what they would buy or not buy.
Yeah.
And so we tend to stick to specific types of vendors that do all kinds of different things like candles and
Oh, totally. All of that. And we also find that between 20 and 40, I just want to like touch on that. Those are the people that are buying the most as well.
Yeah.
Spending a
it's
lot of
different.
money.
Yeah.
For us, we have a lot of boutiques. We have a lot of, like I said, candles.
I don't think about going to markets other than the times that my wife is like, oh, let's go. And I'm like, all right.
Exactly. So we try to put some men's items in there, like we have beard care.
It's
and-
appreciated.
Yeah.
It's appreciated.
We do think about you guys.
What's been great about the night markets is there's a bar. So the guys go to the
Oh, now
bar
we're
and the
talking.
women, you know.
Yeah, so it's kind of a win-win.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So, but you know, it's funny because there's a lot of amazing artists, like fine artists, and they try to get into our markets, and they're not the right fit because most of the people they'll spend anywhere from $10 to $50.
Yeah.
So when you bring in a couple $100 item, they're just not going to buy it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. You know, like I couldn't imagine dropping like, $2,000 or something on a piece of fine art.
Hey, I mean that's when you've like made it, and I feel like you don't really make it unless you're really lucky, until you're like 40 or 50.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like, I don't know. For us, I feel like if you have a lot of money and you're our age, you're going to be investing it into real estate.
Please give me a call.
Exactly. But most people, if they have a great following and they've got some really great products, that's awesome. But sometimes there's fair food,
Yeah.
and we don't really.
Yeah.
We just know who we are.
No fried butter at markets for makers.
No, not with us, but you can go to the state fairgrounds. I mean, that's
now
its
we're-
own experience.
Now we're
So,
talking.
You just got to know who you are and embrace it.
Yeah. Gotta hit the market.
Exactly.
So what exactly does it take to get a booth at your market?
So our website, marketsformakers.com, has all of the markets listed, and then you can apply. Some of the applications have a small fee, anywhere from $15 to $25, but others are free depending on our timeline. And if it's a newer market, we tend to try to incentivize people in. And once we fill up, we're fulls. That's why we have a little bit of a fee, is because it covers a lot of administrative costs.
Yeah. And there's
Try to-
always administrative costs.
Oh, and we try to make sure people are really serious about the fact that they really want to be in the market, because we don't want people applying and then we never hear back from them.
Yep.
And so when we're looking at a booth, we're looking at their overall layout, their products. We look at their social media. I mean, the first thing I do, I don't even look at the photos they sent me. I go directly to their Instagram and their Facebook.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at how many followers do they have and how often do they post, and
It kind of shows us how serious they are about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, a person that's more serious and trying to build their brand is going to be a higher priority for us to put in the market than somebody that it's just a side hustle.
Yeah.
If somebody has like left their job, I remember there was this one company that was like, we left our jobs to do this. That was their company name. And I was like, what is this? What
Yeah.
is it that you're selling? I don't know if they're still in business, but I just know that they weren't quite the right fit for us. So, but we love the passion for that.
And honestly, I'm intrigued that y'all actually curate your booths like that.
It's having a really amazing selection of vendors, and then it's also, for us, we've been really focusing on the vendor experience. And so we have like for this next market that we have huge Instagram walls. We have a whole Christmas wrapping station for free.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
so when somebody comes in the door, even though we have a ticket sale, then I feel like they're coming in for a whole experience.
Yeah.
They're supporting the entire market. What that allows us to do when we have a ticket as well for any of our markets is we get to take all of those vendor fees and dump it right back into marketing and
Yeah.
helping promote those businesses inside the market.
Yeah.
So that way it incentivizes us as owners to get a lot of people through the door. And so it's a really great strategy that seems to be working really well for us.
Yeah, it's
Is
good.
We have our market this coming weekend, and we have pre-sold over 1,000 tickets. And we expect thousands of people out.
That's pretty good. It's almost like a self-driving machine almost.
I tell people, I'm like, look, I have to hustle in order to make sure that you've got people here. So your money is safe with me. It's going into the user experience. It's going into
and
marketing.
they can see where it's going,
Exactly. And I love it. It's
Yep.
so great. And so we want it to be something where someone walks in the market and it uplifts them.
Yeah.
And we're uplifting an entire community. I mean, that's been part of our game plan since day one is, we could work. There's a lot of different types of jobs out there, and it's great, especially for you're helping people find a new home, and that helps the entire community.
Yeah. So 2 final questions. First up, wind or rain, what is the mortal enemy of an outdoor market?
Definitely wind. You cannot have a market with wind. You can have a market with rain.
Yeah. Those sandbags can only do so much.
Oh my gosh. You can't even set up a table sometimes. Especially in Clearwater, it was just insane.
Wow. What's the funnest part about getting an outdoor market permitted with the various cities and municipalities?
Oh my gosh.
What is the funnest part?
There's a lot of hoops to jump through. There's a lot of people that could just say, no, you can't have this market. We try to make sure we get the whole city on board with the entire idea of what we're doing.
Yeah.
But
the funnest part is when we get the permit.
That's the best part. I mean, it's literally like, please tell me we're good to go. I mean, I almost had a heart attack because we needed to make sure that we had the fire sprinklers in place for this big warehouse. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was red tag.
Fire marshal's always fun.
It's scary, but it's also one of those things where you have to, as a business owner, understand their job is to keep everyone safe.
For those who aren't familiar with it, like if a fire marshal finds something an issue, it's usually going to be $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to
exactly. It's like, oh, hey, by the way, you need to fix your sprinkler system. Yeah, that'll be $50,000.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's not like you need to add a whole new zone. It's, hey, this needs to be like 4 inches over this way. And I have had experience.
Yeah, you get it. You get it.
You know, I think the one great thing about us as a business is that we understand that they are there for everyone's safety. And if we can keep everyone's safety our number one priority and really acknowledge that and tell them that that's what we're about, they're a lot more easier to work with than trying to fight them. So we try to create a really great relationship with the community, including anyone that is there, because for us, anyone that's in police and fire, I mean, we're so thankful.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, thank you so much, Trista and Natalie, for being on. If people want to know more, where should they go?
Marketsformakers.com. It's markets with an S, for makers with an S.com.
All right. And we'll have all this information in our show notes, as well as I'm imagining a hilarious picture of a trailer that was towed all the way to Chattanooga.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, we got a narwhal to show you.
So, well, thank you so much, and check them out. So I want to take a little bit here towards the end of the episode, just kind of give a little information on what we're doing. We're lining up some new things for the new year here. One of the things we're doing is reaching out to local bands and musicians, asking them to submit music that they would like featured on the podcast. We'll probably put it in the lead in, I'll give a shout out to them in the show notes and also on the audio here. Pretty excited about that. I had a lot of great feedback in my initial asking who everyone would like to hear. Things should be going pretty well here towards the new year. We're going to be having some new episodes out. Specifically, there's going to be a Christmas episode coming out, so keep an eye out for that. And that's going to be full of great stuff, like where to go to see some cool lights, just holiday events, where to go ice skating, all sorts of cool things like that to make it feel like the holidays. Segment 2. In England, there is a hereditary office known as the Queen's Champion, and his job is to defend the monarch against any challengers. Whenever you hear the phrase throwing down the gauntlet, that is what this guy actually did. Historically, from what I read, he would throw down the gauntlet 3 times and during the coronation, and he would basically call people out and challenge them to a fight if they wanted to try to challenge the claim of the new king or queen. And they also are the standard bearer, so whenever the king or queen goes into battle, this would be the guy next to him with the flag on the pennant and horse charging and all that. This is still an actual position in the English order. It's still an actual position, and the current heir to the office is an accountant, which is relatively amusing. Thank you for tuning into the Great Things Tampa Bay podcast. It's been a lot of fun this year, and we're going to continue having fun next year. I would like to ask that you share the cheer a little bit. Just think of one person. Just share this with them. Just go to the website and share it with them. It's really going to be through your referrals and your friends how we're going to build the following for this and make it into something truly awesome. I'm very appreciative of y'all listening and looking forward to 2018. Oh, and before I forget, if you like the podcast and would like to support it, all you need to do, just go to our website, greatthingstv.com. There's a link there. You'll see the Amazon logo. Basically, just click on that. That'll take you to the normal Amazon site and just shop on Amazon as you would normally do. They pay us a little bit of a commission just for sending traffic. So if you'd like more content like this, just go to our website and click on the Amazon link. Thank you so much.